Environment Canada confirms a tornado touched down in the Ottawa area this afternoon and has updated a tornado watch in the Montreal region to a tornado warning. Local officials say they're monitoring the situation closely. Meantime, we have video of the twister that descended in Ottawa's Barrhaven neighborhood. Officials say one person there suffered minor injuries. There's also some damage to homes. A severe thunderstorm hit the area just before the twister arrived, bringing heavy rain and some hail. Now, just to situate the tornado for you, here's a map showing Barrhaven. It's part of the amalgamated city of Ottawa and is located about 20 kilometers from the downtown core. Steve Hillier lives in the neighborhood.
I got under the bed and then there was just this massive boom like I've never heard it before, just like a bomb going off. And the rest was the glass then just blew, the wind came, just the noise was, I can't describe it, the noise was incredible, absolutely incredible. And the rain was coming in, glass everywhere, bits of roof coming down inside, insulation, and then this just like the war zone. So the only way you can kind of describe it, it was horrifying.
And the CBC's David Thurton is there. And David, you've been talking with people and surveying the area. What are you seeing?
Hey, Andrew, welcome to what appears to be ground zero for the tornado that hit Barrhaven here this afternoon. Yeah, there has been a lot of damage that we've been seeing here on the ground. The houses across the street from me, you can see that the roofs have been damaged, shingles have been blown off into the street. We've also seen glass shattered, windows have been broken by presumably the force of this tornado. It's unclear where exactly in Barrhaven the tornado hit. Environment Canada is confirming that there was a tornado in this region. But it's unclear if it hit this street, to be quite honest. But nevertheless, you can see the evidence of what appears to be severe storm activity. A lot of people were home at the time, so I want to bring in some people, a family, actually just a mom and her kid who were home at the time. With me right now, I have Rohit, Nikila, and one of their, Prashant. Thank you for joining us. Nikila, can you just describe to us what you heard, what you saw when what appears to be a tornado rolled through here?
Well, I was actually preparing a meal for us. So suddenly, it was actually raining. Suddenly, I had to hear a very big sound. My daughter she was sleeping up in a bedroom, and I had to rush. The moment when I came into my room, I had to see all the dust and everything. It was completely in front of my eyes. I couldn't imagine what is happening. I just rushed inside, and I just brought my daughter down. I was shouting with her name, and she was crying with that loud sound and everything. I just brought her down, and we went into garage, and there was no one in the home actually. So, and I've called my friends and all. They've come, and it was a happy time seeing them, and I informed my husband, and even he rushed it from his place. And the moment I came out, I had to see everything damaged outside also. So when it comes to us, there's a lot of damage happening in our home. So yeah.
Rohit is her husband. You rushed home from work. You were telling me that you moved from India. Yes. When did you move from India?
So I moved from India in 2019, but then I got married, and then recently my wife and my child, they moved just like a month ago. And I just received a call when I was working in Kemptville, which is just like 20 minutes away from Barrhaven. And she sent me some pictures on WhatsApp. I was like very much afraid. How is my daughter? My daughter was my first concern for me. Like her safety was the first priority to me. I just showed it to my employer, and then they said, go and take care of what's happening at your house. I'm very much thankful to them too. So they were so cooperative as well. I just came rushing home, and the first thing I did was go to my daughter and see her. I hugged her and I took her to my arms, and first making sure she is safe. That was I cannot even say So that was the first priority for me, not tornado, nothing. Only my daughter was my priority. Thank God she's safe now. I'll take her somewhere safe for the moment till this goes. But this is a very difficult thing that my daughter has to face. Immediately she came to Canada, like within a span of 1 month. It pains a lot.
I know, and I'm sure people back home are worried right now. We're so glad that both you, your wife, and your daughter are safe. We aren't hearing a lot of reports about injuries here in Barrhaven due to this tornado, Andrew. We are hearing one report of a minor injury from the Ottawa paramedics, but so far there are no significant reports of injuries, just significant reports, as you can see on the street, and you heard from this family, just significant reports of damage.
David, yeah, you could really hear the emotion, understandably, in Rohit's voice. Appreciate your reporting and appreciate that, and very happy that they're all okay. The CBC's David Thurton, live in Barrhaven in southwest Ottawa. For more, I want to bring in Katie Geese, who lives in Barrhaven and saw the tornado touch down. And Katie, I want to thank you for joining us after what must have been a pretty stressful situation. Can you take us through what you saw?
Yeah, certainly. I looked out my office window because I noticed there was debris circling in the elementary school across the street from me. And I thought, that's odd. I grabbed my phone to start filming it to send to my husband, who was in another location with my children. And suddenly the clouds formed in a funnel and touched the roofs of the houses down the street from me and started to rip them apart. And there was debris flying everywhere. So I was in shock for a moment. Then I grabbed my dog, had my phone, ran into the safest place in our home, which is our laundry room, closed the doors, and started to alert everyone I knew who lived in the area to take shelter.
That must have just been terrifying for you. What was going through your mind as you saw the tornado form?
Honestly, at first I was just stunned. I don't know if I was in disbelief, but I had a moment where I didn't know what to do. But then fight or flight mode certainly kicked in, and I just knew what room I should take myself to and my pet. So I did. And then I was sort of in mission mode to tell as many people as I could to seek shelter, get to safety, because at that point, the emergency alert that makes the same noise on your phone that the Amber Alert does wasn't issued. It actually wasn't issued until 8 minutes after the tornado touched down on my street.
And I understand you drove to your mother's house after the storm. Can you describe the damage to your neighborhood?
Yes, my mother drove me. She picked me up. I told her not to, and she did anyway, as most mothers would. I did notice that I live near a lot of construction, so there was construction debris scattered in areas where buildings were being worked on. There are some homes that had smashed windows not far from me, definitely roof damage. Some garages had debris hit them. So it's generally quite a mess, and I'm hoping that everyone's okay.
Have you ever experienced weather like this in Ottawa before?
Interestingly enough, when I first moved to Barrhaven, it was last year in May. Shortly after I moved, the derecho hit, which is when we had sort of a widespread wind event with power lines down, with, again, roof damage and debris scattered. I think it's no coincidence that in Ottawa, this is the first winter we've had last season where the canal didn't freeze over, where we've had record fires across Canada out of control, and now we have this. I think our emergency preparedness for extreme weather alerts needs to be improved.
So tell me about that. I'm sorry, I was just a tiny bit distracted because I'm also monitoring what's happening in Montreal. And so tell me a little bit about the warning that you got.
Yeah, the video I filmed of the tornado touching down was at 12:48 this afternoon. The warning, the sort of Amber Alert noise that you get on your phone for these extreme weather events came at 12:56, so 8 minutes after the event actually happened. And as well, the way it's written is not the most effective. I can say to you as a professional writer and as a communications professor that I think we need to do better in our strategy of alerting the public when there are these extreme events.
So 8 minutes after the tornado hit, that is when you got the warning. That does not sound very helpful.
No, and especially with the way it was even written, it was a block of text. There didn't seem to be a lot of strategy behind it, and I found it to be not the most clear. And I say that as a native English speaker who also speaks French, who has no cognition issues, has no accessibility needs. So if there's someone who's unlike me and needs a little more help understanding, I worry about that person in these kinds of situations. And I think Environment Canada and Public Safety Canada, if anyone wants to get in contact with someone who's been through this now twice, they can reach out to me. But we need to do better to warn Canadians.
Katie, appreciate you taking the time. And excuse me, glad that you're okay. Everyone is okay. That was Katie Geese joining us live from Ottawa.